We're back now with a look at the drop in the number of international tourists who are visiting the United States.
Tourism to the U.S. is on the decline. The U.S. is set to lose $12.5 billion because of it.
Fewer people want to visit us here in the United States. Travel experts say there are fewer international travelers coming here than before.
The U.S. tourism industry had been banking on a good year after the number of international visitors to the U.S. had jumped in 2024. But as CBS's Elise Preston,
more travelers are skipping trips to the United States as June data
The U.S. is on track to lose $12.5 billion this year alone, and one small policy change is at the center of it. Canadian travel to America dropped over 30% last month compared to 2024. Membership in Canadian tourism clubs is down by half. Why? Because for millions of travelers from countries outside the visa waiver program, a visit to the U.S. now comes with a $250 visa fee. It might sound minor, but since its quiet rollout on July 4, 2025, that fee has been wrecking a $1.9 trillion tourism economy. And the damage isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. It is visible on the streets. Hotels in Miami are half empty. Vegas casinos are cutting shows. Tucson resorts are slashing prices. Even New York's famous tour buses are running half full. Restaurants can't find customers or keep staff. Airbnb hosts are quitting. Theme parks are closing early. And this isn't just a slow summer, it's a warning sign. Tucson, Arizona, once a rising desert tourism hub. Tucson is now eerily quiet. Gift shops stand untouched. Hotel lobbies echo. Since the $250 visa fee began, international arrivals have plunged 32%. Nearly 40% of tourism businesses have either laid off staff or shut their doors entirely. Just last year, the city's airport was expanding. Now that momentum is gone, the demand didn't shift, it disappeared. Spokane, Washington. This summer, Spokane watched its international lifeline snap almost overnight. For years, the city thrived on exchange students, seasonal workers, and international guests filling its hotels, working at resorts, and fueling summer festivals. But in May 2025, the U.S. issued 7,000 fewer J-1 visas than the year before. A 13% drop. On paper, it's just a number. On the ground, it's a crisis. Housekeeping shifts went unfilled. Kitchens ran with half their staff. Front desks sat empty, forcing managers to check in guests themselves. Over 60% of hotels and resorts reported serious staffing shortages they'd never faced before. Festival organizers canceled performances. Airbnb hosts watched their bookings vanish, and without the seasonal workforce, Spokane's summer usually buzzing with visitors felt muted, almost unfinished. New Orleans, Louisiana. Few cities live and breathe tourism like New Orleans. Festivals, music, food, and street culture aren't just part of the economy. They are the economy. But this year, the city's heartbeat skipped. The legendary French Quarter Festival, normally a roaring celebration, saw revenues plunge 42% and international attendance fall 35%. Street performers packed up early. Carriage drivers idled without passengers. Tours down Bourbon Street stopped running entirely. Hotels dimmed their lobby lights and cut restaurant hours. City leaders scrambled to salvage the situation, even inviting Canadian media to push back against negative headlines. But for many businesses, the damage was irreversible. Millions in revenue disappeared, leaving New Orleans' festive glow dimmer than anyone can remember. Kansas City, Missouri. For Kansas City, 2026 was supposed to be historic, one of America's proud host cities for the FIFA World Cup. Local officials had predicted record-breaking visitor numbers and a tourism boom that would ripple through the economy for years. But that vision is now under threat. Tourism boards are bracing for a $220 million loss in international visitor revenue. Tours from South America and Africa, once a major piece of the World Cup crowd, are down 47%. Entire travel groups from Argentina, Ghana, and Nigeria canceled plans after the new $250 visa fee tipped their budgets over the edge. Hotels had renovated, transit systems extended hours, and merchants stocked up for the rush. But now, many fear stadium seats will sit half empty, not from lack of passion for soccer, but from barriers at the border. New York City, New York isn't just America's biggest tourism magnet. It's a symbol of the country's global appeal. But that appeal is slipping. Tourism officials project 2 million fewer international visitors this year, translating to a $4 billion drop in spending. Luxury stores on Fifth Avenue are watching foreign shoppers vanish. Broadway theaters are selling fewer tickets. Museums and guided tours are seeing cancellations. And in a move many call self-sabotage, the city cut its international marketing budget, reducing its visibility just when it needs it most. In a place that thrives on being the center of the world's attention, the quiet is unsettling. Orlando, Florida. Orlando, the home of theme parks, magical vacations, and year-round family fun, is suddenly struggling to keep the magic alive. The sharp decline in J1 visas has gutted the city's seasonal workforce. Theme parks and resorts are missing the student workers who usually keep rides running. Costumes filled and dinner shows buzzing. Some shows have been cancelled outright. Ride lines stretch for hours. Guests are leaving with frustration instead of wonder. For a city built on hospitality, losing its people means losing its promise. Chicago, Illinois. Chicago's skyline and architecture are world famous. But this year, the boats that usually ferry thousands of tourists along the river are running at half capacity. Entire group bookings have vanished. Cultural exchanges, music residencies, and international programs have been shelved. Tour guides rotate shifts just to hold on to work. Without the steady hum of global visitors, the city feels quieter. And leaders warn that if Chicago disappears from the world's travel plans now, it might not return easily. Miami, Florida. Miami, a city synonymous with glamour and energy, is feeling a sharp chill. Google travel trends show tourist searches are down 15% from last year. International spending is off by 20 to 35%, forcing hotels and restaurants to cut staff. Beach bars sit empty. Lobbies echo even during peak season. The city feels as if someone turned the volume down. Los Angeles, California. Hollywood, the heart of American entertainment tourism, is losing its audience. Studio tour bookings are down 37%. Film schools and cultural festivals have lost over 40% of their international attendees. This isn't just about tourism, it's about image. LA's global prestige has long been a magnet for billions in spending. But as cancellations pile up, the lights are dimming on a city that once thrived on constant buzz. San Francisco, California and the Bay Area, ties to Asia have always been strong. But this year, F1 and J1 visas from Asia are down 20%, cutting deeply into the student population at top schools like UC Berkeley and the Academy of Art. The drop ripples through the city. In Chinatown, about 30% of shops and eateries have closed since winter. Sam Wo, a restaurant with over a century of history, shut down in January. For San Francisco, losing students and visitors isn't just an economic hit. It's a loss of culture and connection. From Miami's beaches to New York's skyline, America's icons are going silent. Not because of war, not because of a pandemic, but because of a $250 visa fee. One small change is costing cities their visitors, their jobs, and their place on the global stage. So the question is this just a temporary dip, or the moment the world begins turning away from the American dream? If you've visited Tucson, Orlando, or San Francisco recently, would you go again with that price tag? Tell us in the comments, because the future of US tourism might just start with your answer.